Falamogones.
When the snow falls and the white winds blow, the lone wolf dies, but the pack survives. This quote is everything for the Starks. I believe their structure as a whole is modeled after this idea. Ned tells this to his children in A Game of Thrones, and Sansa repeats it along the walls of Winterfell with Arya in Season 7. When discussing fighting the Dothraki in an open field, Robert Baratheon says, "Which is stronger, 5 or 1? 5, 1. This is another example of the same concept. A group is stronger, a pack. The Starks are wolves, and wolves travel in packs. They hunt in packs, they live with a mate, and working together are stronger. They use strategy and can eliminate weak points. The last of the Starks showed us who they are: Arya, Sansa, Bran, and Jon. Jon will always be the first to tell you, "I'm not a Stark." Now, knowing his true parentage, and that he must embrace his Targaryen side, I believe he is moving even further away from that Stark persona and stepping into the king's role. We saw him leaving Winterfell and rejecting Ghost in the process. He didn't give him a kind and loving farewell. He sent Ghost to the north, where he belongs, and turned his back to the south. This seems very symbolic of Jon's transformation into the prince who was promised role. Sansa lost Lady way back in Season 1, and we know she has struggled along her way to find who she truly is. She has now fully embraced and taken on the role of the Lady of Winterfell. She is strong, stern, beautiful, and harsh. Bran has also changed from Bran Stark to the Three-Eyed Raven, and he says he died in Bloodraven's cave north of the Wall. He also lost Summer there, killed in his defense when the Night King found them and attacked. In Season 7, Arya found Nymeria along her journey north. She was encircled by the wolf pack she had seen so many times in her green dreams in Braavos. A great wolf pack that hunted at night. Nymeria is the alpha, and she has grown to enormous size. She is strong and powerful, and Arya asks her to come north with her, but Nymeria walks off, and Arya knows it's because they are the same. A lone wolf, strong and fierce. Her pack stalks off behind her, and they presumably go back to being the silent guardians of the Neck and the North. Once Syrio Forel used to make Arya stand on one leg until she was trembling. Later, he sent her chasing after cats. She had danced the water dance on limbs of trees, a stick sword in her hand. Arya has served her main purpose of saving her family and the North. She killed the Night King. She is basically Éowyn of Rohan. She killed the big bad in her battle at home. Without Arya, we would not be having this conversation because Winterfell would be gone, mankind absorbed into the dead, and Cersei would be fending off the Night King. As we've predicted in our Arya video, she is on a healing arc, very much like Éowyn. She needed to defend her family and get the vengeance for the people who hurt them. She got to kill Littlefinger for Sansa, the Night King for Bran and Jon. But who dies for Arya's sense of closure? "Look with your eyes," he had said. Arya's list has been mostly completed, whether by her own hands or other people. But she has a few top contenders who are still terrorizing her family: the Mountain, Gregor Clegane, and Cersei Lannister. I don't think Arya's healing arc will be completed until those names are off the list. Thankfully, she's traveling with Sandor Clegane, so she has someone with the same mission and the same target. They can work together to take out his brother. Perhaps Grey Worm will even join in on the action, because he has a man's heart and it has been ripped out. Grey Worm is definitely going to go after the beast, the Mountain, after executing his lady love Missandei. Her other target, Cersei, is well guarded and seemingly prepared for everything. Cersei didn't waste time while the North fought the dead army. She has armed the city walls with massive scorpions to take out the dragons. She has the Greyjoy fleet on the waters and the Golden Company on contract. She has shown no sense of insecurity or intimidation by Daenerys or her dragons. Syrio says that every hurt is a lesson, and every lesson makes you better. Arya's first lesson by Syrio Forel was taught in the Red Keep. He taught her to be quick, quiet, light-footed. He taught her how to fight and the first lessons of death. He taught her to be strong. His tasks he would send her on would lead her all over the Red Keep, from different towers to the dungeons and sewers below the castles. She has been lost and found her way out. She is familiar with many of the passages. All that Syrio Forel had taught her went racing through her head. Swift as a deer, quiet as a shadow. Fear cuts deeper than swords. Quick as a snake, calm as still water. Fear cuts deeper than swords. Strong as a bear, fierce as a wolverine. Fear cuts deeper than swords. The man who fears losing has already lost. Fear cuts deeper than swords. Fear cuts deeper than swords. Fear cuts deeper than swords. The grip of her wooden sword was slick with sweat, and Arya was breathing hard when she reached the turret step. For an instant she froze, up or down. Up would take her to the covered bridge that spanned the small court to the Tower of the Hand, but that was the way that they'd expect her to go for certain. Never do what they expect, Syrio once said. Arya went down, around and around, leaping over the narrow stone steps 2 or 3 at a time. I believe this is going to come in handy when it comes to dealing with Cersei. There are many people after Cersei right now. Daenerys, Jon, Tyrion, Jaime. Dany and Jon are prepared to fight her for the crown. Tyrion and Jaime want to give her a chance to resign peacefully without bloodshed and carnage. Drogon is a powerful tool, and though the meeting outside the Red Keep did not go very well, it did give Daenerys and her troops the opportunity to scope out how Cersei has prepared herself. There are scorpions along the walls, barrels of presumably wildfire, and the troops are ready to defend the city. She has brought the small folk of King's Landing into the Red Keep to keep them safe from the Dragon Queen, but Cersei would have no qualms about sacrificing them for her own ends. The only way to peacefully take the Red Keep without a massive tragedy and carnage would be to send in an assassin. Thankfully, Arya is already on her way with this exact mission in mind. We saw Arya fulfill her aria, as we discussed in our previous Arya video, linked below. Will Arya again sneak in and take care of the big bad guy? It is a little redundant, though she may end up using some cool tactics like Faceless Manning, Jaime, or Littlefinger, but her knowledge of the underbelly of the Red Keep is a powerful tool. We saw a lot of Arya's time with Syrio in the show, his lessons, her practicing, and how seriously she took him. Syrio was her #1 mentor in her childhood and helped set her on her path that she was meant to be on. He never treated her like a lady, and never shied her away from pain or bruises or learning. Those lessons formed her and prepared her to become the fierce hero of Winterfell. We may not see her recover, though. 2 big bad kills seems just too awesome for one little lady to survive. She told the Hound she wasn't planning on returning to the North, so whether that means she dies in the process or ends up leaving Westeros, or, in a happy Disney ending, goes to Storm's End and marries Gendry, this will hopefully give Arya some closure on the pain in her life. I hope she can move forward to a happy place, but, as we know,
Fala, Mogules.